Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I just did a post on Chris Paul, NBA superstar who went to Wake Forest in North Carolina. Thinking along those lines, it made me think of Tim Duncan, who also went to Wake Forest, and he began his basketball career at Wake Forest in the year 93. Thelema, also the year of the 93 World Trade Center buildings. And Tim Duncan and his teammate David Robinson were known as the Twin Towers. So I want to get into this and show you guys what it looks like when you break it down. Plus, we'll talk about some more. We'll talk about the number 21 in the Spurs of much significance, also to Tim Duncan. The point of talking about what we're about to talk about is just to further show what is being done to us, how our minds are being groomed for world events through movies, television, and even sports and sports celebrities such as Tim Duncan. No, I'm not trying to say that Tim Duncan's responsible for any of this. I'm just showing you how the people who are running all of this are bringing it all together. And the simple explanation for how this can be done is just to look at the names behind all of these events. They're all Zionist Jew names. Zionist Jews run the NBA, all the sports leagues, and they are responsible for what happened on 9/11. Now let's get into it. All right, so Tim Duncan was known as one of the Twin Towers, him and David Robinson. His full name is Timothy Theodore Duncan. Zoom this in here, make it bigger. He didn't go by the name Timothy Theodore Duncan in the NBA. He went by the name Tim Duncan, but I've broken down his full name just so we can look at the full extent of it. We'll do the same thing with David Robinson. The name Tim Duncan has a numerology of 9. Keep that in mind. Tim Duncan in simple English gematria sums to 99. Tim has that 42 numerology, just like Alamo. Alamo also sums to 42, and Tim Duncan plays in San Antonio. Tim Duncan was born April 25th, 1976. That's a date with a numerology of 34, the 9th Fibonacci number. More emphasis on 9. And so just keep these numbers in mind for Tim Duncan, that his name breaks down to 9. Now we're going to look at David Robinson. His full name is David Maurice Robinson. In Pythagorean gematria, his full name sums to 99, like Tim Duncan was simple English gematria. He did not go by the name David Maurice Robinson in the NBA, though. He went by David Robinson and also the Admiral. That was his nickname. David Robinson has a gematria that breaks down to 11. So Tim Duncan, the name breaks down to 9. David Robinson breaks down to 11. And these guys were known as the Twin Towers before the World Trade Center incident occurred. Of course, they had that reference because they were both 7-foot tall men. Or Tim Duncan, he's listed at 6'11", but almost 7-foot tall men. David Robinson was born on August 6th, 86. Important number. That's the date the Hiroshima bombing happened, 8/6/1965. They're born almost 11 years apart, a little less than 11 years. Just wanted to point out that the gematria of Twin Towers is 49. And again, he went to Wake Forest. He started there in the year 93, like the year of Thelema. Wake Forest with Pythagorean gematria sums to 42, like Tim. With simple English gematria, it sums to 123, like the word conspiracy. They're known as the Demon Deacons. Demon Deacons has the gematria of 49. And that abbreviation, DD44, the World Trade Center is opened on April 4th. So, this is the introduction for Tim Duncan, one of the most successful NBA players ever. He came up alongside David Robinson, the Twin Towers, and aside from their curious nicknames, they even have curious gematria that ties right in, 9 and 11 between the two. And notice they both had life numbers of 34. Very important number. Numbers of life, the 9th Fibonacci number. And ignore this math right here, Truth Seeker. That's supposed to say 79. I don't know how I wrote 25. But moving along with Tim Duncan, there's even more than that. And that's what I want to look at right here. Notice that he wears the number 21, Truth Seeker, and the Spurs have major emphasis on the U on their uniform. U is the 21st letter. The name Duncan with Pythagorean gematria sums to 21. So on the back of his jersey it says Duncan with the number 21. If you add 21 plus 21, it sums to 42, like Tim in simple English gematria and like the Alamo, which happened in San Antonio. You know, I don't think it's a coincidence, Truth Seeker. I think this is more number focused. Think about in the NFL how they're going 12 crazy right now. 21's just the flip of that. 2 plus 1 is 3, so it also breaks down to a 3 number. Tim Duncan's 2-star teammates are also people with 33 gematria. They also seem like Manchurian athletes, Tony Parker and Kawhi Leonard. Here they are right here. This team won the NBA Finals last year. NBA Finals has that gematria of 33. Just wanted to point that out. It's not just Tim Duncan. And also last year, Truth Seeker, the NBA Finals were very curious. Last year was the first NBA Finals with new NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. 30 years earlier, it was the first NBA Finals with David Stern. That was a Bird Magic. Bird and Magic are both 33 names. Simple English gematria. And here's what was really curious about it. 30 years ago, the NBA Finals were Celtics versus Lakers, where the Celtics had a 62-20 record, and the Lakers had a 54-28 record. This past season, the Spurs had the 62-20 record, and the Miami Heat had a 54-28 record. And the outcome of that series ended up being the same as it was 30 years earlier with the respective records. And also what was interesting is that they used the same finals format that they used 30 years apart when they hadn't been doing that. So there were all these parallels between last year's NBA Finals and this year's. This is also a part of what led me to think that maybe I could predict what the Super Bowl was going to be after the Week 3 games just by doing a study of what was going on. And of course I didn't get it quite right, but I did get really close, and I figured out a big part of the playoff picture well in advance. So, you know, it's ongoing research, but we can track what they're doing. They're repeating history, they're forcing it and falsifying it. And last year, in the NBA Finals in Game 1, LeBron James got a tweak and left the game with 33 minutes played. To me, that was a sign that Miami was going to lose the series. And sure enough, they went on to do it. And I'm pretty sure this was a dead giveaway right here when LeBron James exited the game with 33 minutes. As for LeBron James, I've already done some posts on him. The name LeBron with simple English gematria is 66. We know the relationship between 66 and 33. James is 48. So LeBron James sums to 114. And that Miami team had quite the cast of characters too. I remember taking this picture last year, thinking about LeBron standing next to Wade, 33, with his 33 shot on the screen. I really think they are just messing with us, Truth Seeker. I think they're really good at it too. And yeah, that game opened with this guy singing with a number 74 on his jersey. You know, once you see these things, you just notice how it's just everywhere. Can't be stopped. The first NBA Finals was in the year 47, the flip of that number. NBA Finals has the gematria of 33. From one sports league to the next, Truth Seeker, you will find the same numbers. And that's just what I wanted to follow up with on this post. Talk about that Demon Deacons connection from the last post, Chris Paul with Tim Duncan. Major sports stars coming out of North Carolina, especially for basketball. You even think about Kobe Bryant. When he entered the NBA, he came through North Carolina as well before becoming a Laker. Seems like it's all part of the tribute. This year, Tim Duncan defeated the Lakers, scoring his 25th 1,000-point, making him 19 all-time on November 14th of this year. And in that game, they finished with 93 points in the win. And I don't think that was a coincidence. Remember, Tim Duncan joined Wake Forest in the year 93, the number of Thelema. All right. Until next time, Truth Seeker.